As you guys know, I love to start with the numbers, and I want to talk to you a little bit, some of the changes that we've noticed with these numbers, and we'll kind of go from there. All right, first things first. Let's look at the overall monthly indicators for the month of June, down 7.6%. This is for all properties. Again, 1 year change in closed sales, down 7.6%. 1 year change in median sales price, up 10.5%. So prices are actually still holding on. 1 year change in homes for sale, up 44.4%. Have you guys noticed an increase in inventory? We've been begging for that for the last 3 years. We got it. So, obviously it's due to many different things, and we'll get your opinions on that. So detached market overview. If you look at the closed sales, we're right around where we were last year on that, just down 4.8%. Overall, down 0.8%. So 7,280 year-to-date 2023, year-to-date 2024, we're at 7,219. Very, very, very close to what those numbers were from last year. Attached, let's look at the attached, because I'm seeing a big movement with attached. I hope you guys are paying attention to this. So closed sales, they were down 12.5%. They went from 763 to 668. But if you look overall, it's pretty much on track with the numbers from last year. So up 4.4%. New listings increased. June 2024, we now have 1,863 properties for sale that are detached. And look at the attached, guys. 1,129, up 18.8%. Just look at what it was last year, July, it was 897. So we're seeing an increase of condos and attached properties coming to our market. Curious to hear what you guys think, and curious to think, what's your ideology behind that? But seeing an increase. If you kind of look at the last few months, up 16%, up 40%, up 21%, up 18%. I mean, these are high numbers compared to the detached. So we're seeing an increase in that. Please pay attention to that. Pending sales. Very similar to what they were last year, 1376 up 3.2%, and for the attached down 6.5%. Closed sales down 4.8%, up down 12.5% for attached. So we have less closed sales than that was last year this time. Again, I'm sure interest rates have a lot to do with that. Median sales price up 9.1%. So prices are still holding up. I'm sure it's still some pockets that are increasing and some that are a little bit more stale. But overall, San Diego County, we've seen an increase in median sales price, also along with average sales prices up to 1.434. These numbers are just getting high. Let's just put it that way. Very, very high. I mean, attached 845,166. These are the numbers I would share with clients and let them know where the market is kind of trending, and let them understand that this is the best time to be selling property. And these numbers will back it. Dollar, obviously you can see the closed sales volume up 4.5% and attached down 4.2. Let's look at this. Prices have come down overall. Now, don't bite me and say, what the heck? Well, this property, listed for this and went up higher. Overall speaking, down 1.8%. Nothing crazy, okay? So we're starting to see them come off their list prices, maybe because, the numbers were just high expectations that people have to come down, right? I mean, I'm starting to see that kind of movement with some of the price adjustments, throughout the county. Days on market is pretty stable, 27 days overall, up 12.5% from what it was last year, where properties were kind of flying off the shelves. They're sitting just a tad bit longer, okay? So it's no longer just pricing the property, putting it on the MLS and praying it sells. You do got to put some work behind it. There's got to be some marketing. There has to be some, activity and, just really some of that sweat equity behind it. So just make sure that you are doing everything in your capabilities to get these properties not only showing well, but marketed correctly. All right, inventory. up 28.4%. And look at the attached, up 78.4% for attached properties. The inventory is now here. If you look at the combination, I mean, we're talking over 4,000 homes that are now on the market. And if you just compare it last year to July, I mean, we're talking less than 3,000. So for me, you should be very happy about the inventory. Just let me stop it now. Let me kind of get your opinion on some of the numbers, and maybe you're seeing something different in your kind of neck of the woods. Knowledge is power. Let's share that with the group. Does anybody have anything to comment on the numbers that we just went over? I'll start calling upon you. You better volunteer. Jeff.
Oh.
No, I was
David,
going to say very similar to what Dennis mentioned. Part of the condo situation, as far as I can see, there are more being listed for sure, but there's a number of reasons. Number one, HOA prices are going up. There's an overall addition for a lot of different reasons. Some of it being obviously the balconies, et cetera, and things like that are happening as far as assessments that have to take place. But the other thing is master insurance plans. All of those things are increasing significantly with condos. So there's two things with that. One is you're seeing more come on sale because more come on the market because number one, it's hard for people to afford it, is one of the situations. And there are people still obviously leaving our state, needless to say. But the other part of it is a number of them have been caught up in the fact that they did lose their masters, so they are staying on the market longer because they're cash only and or portfolio loans. So anyway, that being said, there's a lot happening in the condo industry. If you're going to be listing one, make sure with your master associations and your HOA that you get all that information upfront as much as possible.
I love that you mentioned that because it actually even happened in my neighborhood. I was driving by and I just saw like 4 sales all of a sudden, like for sale signs, like 4 of them immediately pop up. I'm like, whoa, that's pretty odd. Usually we get maybe 1 or 2 and, you know, they trickle on over the years. But this one came up and I called the listing agent. I said, hey, you know, I noticed you got this property. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? I know, you know, I'm a broker. I just want some information. Well, they were very transparent. They told us the HOA, right? They somehow or some way, the premiums went up because of the fire insurance. And there's a lot going on with condos right now. So I'm encouraging all my cold callers, all my prospectors, start marketing these condominium, you know, the associations or, you know, these properties, because I will bet you they are considering selling, and it's in the back of their mind, because if they don't want to either mess with all the nuances and all the different changes with prices going up with premiums or whatever the case may be, they'd rather sell and go into one that doesn't have any HOAs. If you ever noticed, you ever talked to somebody that came from, you know, an HOA that was very strict, or like, I never want to see another HOA again, right? So it's going to be one of those cases. So please, if you're going to market anything, look at those numbers. The numbers tell a story, and it's up to you to be proactive and take advantage of it. Anybody else? I know David was going to talk. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, I was just going to say, to add to what Jeff said, and Jeff, you said it very nice. The master associations are having a lot of difficulties with the insurance on top of it and the added costs, and a lot of them are underfunded. So what I do when I'm looking at investment stuff, but also what we all should be doing, when you look at the going in the MLS and just look at the recent sales, see if they're getting financing, and then call those agents to say, hey, did your buyer have any issue getting insurance, or did they have any issues with the HOA? Was there anything that popped up that you saw that was a surprise, like any you know, any assessments that are forthcoming that you know about? So you'd be amazed how much you find out when you start asking those types of questions, and then even just say, hey, you know, find out whether it was a smooth transaction or whether it was difficult, and just see in the most recent sales within the last 90 days, how much of it was cash, how much of it was finance, and that'll really paint a picture for you on, if you're going to list one, that you can have an intelligent conversation with your seller, and they might even know. They may, not tell you the whole truth, but when you bring it out in the surface, they may say, "Oh yeah, we got some notices." So I think you'll find that helpful when you do that.
Thank you, David. I got a question for everyone. Has anyone received a call from a past client saying their carrier dropped them recently? And what was the solution for that? Was there another company? Like, for an example, I know RB is going through some things, right? All these high risk fire areas, right? In the I-15 corridor and all the rest of the stuff are, these carriers are dropping them. And I know we did some type of fire hardening insurance kind of training and all kinds of different things concerning insurance. But has anybody kind of come across something like that? And are you calling all the rest of your clients that you sold homes in those areas and saying, "Hey, how's your insurance? Is everything fine? Here's some backup information, or, here's a contact that you may want to reach out to," because I really want to get a solution to that. Starting to see like a trend going in that direction.
Mike, I was just going to chime in. What's that?
Yeah, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, I've had a significant number of clients reach out specifically the last couple months regarding increase in renewal, non-renewal, etc. So I have a couple different go-to companies that it seems like they're writing in California, but I can tell you, even if they were writing a month ago, does not mean that that same company is writing now. So you literally have to stay on top of it. Your next best friend is going to be the insurance person right now. It's coming up in general conversation in groups. And on a different angle from that is even buyers in escrow right now get more than one insurance quote. Do not stick with just one insurance quote, because buyers that I have in escrow, they were dead set on using this certain company. Their parents have been with for 20 years, writing in California, et cetera. And I said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Reach out, especially going into the holiday weekend. It can take 3 to 5 business days to get a quote at least. And so they reached out to somebody that I recommended and got an insurance quote. And I said, and we just found out yesterday, the original company that they wanted to go with wouldn't insure the property because of something needed to be fixed on the property. And I go, for the sake of closing escrow, go with the second company. Once you take possession, you can get that fixed. We can, upload the pictures they want. You can get that different company that you want to go with for about $1,000 less a year. Like, it was significant, but for right now, your hands are tied. We have our loan contingency. You need insurance to close. So get multiple quotes on insurance. Just don't stay with one, because just don't do it. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. And one quick added insight I was going to say also, buyers in escrow with condo and townhomes, be careful about special assessments, because the cost of insurance for the complexes are increasing significantly. They are passing on that cost as special assessments. When they're funded short, they don't have enough money. So just be aware of special assessments for that too.
Great information, Maria. Thank you so much
So,
for sharing with the group.
Mike,
sure. Yes,
this
go
is
for it.
Jeanette. I don't know
Hey,
where I
Jeanette.
am in the pictures, but just so you know that I've had multiple insurance companies contact me about the rentals that I have. They want the roofs power washed. They want any cracks in the driveways. They
Mhm.
are giving you an app to go in the house and take photos and upload them to the insurance. And they are being very, very strict. And if they don't like it, they'll drop you.
Yep.
So, yes, the roof issue is a big thing right now.
Mhm.
Both Jeanette and Maria, if I can have you guys put some of the suggestions in the chat box, because I want to get Agent Hub a little bit more updated, because I know we got some people in there that possibly wrote maybe years ago. They were incredible, but they may have fallen off the map because they pulled their, information or pulled out of California. Can we get that information on the chat box? And if I can have Lindsay upload that on the Agent Hub, after, that would be great for all of us. I appreciate that.
Yeah, just like you
Yep.
said, Jeanette, I've people that have had to do roof repairs, upgrade electrical panels, all sorts of stuff, trim trees that are too close to the house.
Wow.
Correct.
Yeah, they're doing
Lots going
a
on.
lot of
There-
people are having to do upgrades to their properties just to get renewal from insurance.
They're actually
Let's-
going on the side of the house, taking pictures past the fence to see if there's any debris that is touching the structure. It's incredible what they're doing.
Yeah.
Let's not forget about the balcony inspections too.
Right.
That too.
Yeah, that's very true, Bob. And I know that Dennis mentioned something like that too as well. That's awesome. So look, man, this is the best part
I
of
would
Bob.
mention one more thing, Mike.
Please go for it, Libby.
HOAs have been denied insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
If
right.
you're,
Wow.
if you're gonna be listing a condo, make sure you call the HOA right away and find out if their insurance has been renewed or if it's on hold or, that's been an issue in Rancho Bernardo. I think most of them are reinsured now. And a note of good news, I would say, is I watch Nextdoor pretty carefully, and I've been seeing more and more companies coming back and covering, and the ones that are in the fire areas, so when you pull an NHD and you find out they're moderate or high fire, those you got to go to CAL FIRE. There's really nobody that will cover fire for those particular properties here in this area.
Okay.
But a lot of companies are now covering the rest of the home.
Oh.
So, for instance, we have CAL FIRE and Mercury. And as I watch it next door, there's a lot more companies partnering up with CAL FIRE.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good note because there's
That's
more
awesome.
competition and different prices with each one.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, for your comments. Lindsay, do we have any questions or any comments that we want to announce?
No.
Okay.
Mike, I will say I had a condo that had a balcony issue. I listed it back in December. I ended up selling it in January. It had a great big assessment and they took care of that when they sold it, but it does create a little bit of a mess with the condo financials, and now I have one that's getting ready to go on the market here. And so you really do have to be careful with those condos that are built, before the 80s, I guess. With this balcony issue, it's becoming a huge, huge thing.
And you mentioned something very profound, actually. You make sure that they have a fund, right? They're not negative, or the reserves, or the condo association has enough to do some of these improvements instead of, assessing like a special assessment or some type of increase, right?
So on the
Sure.
one that I sold in December, the reason why our first buyer, why they fell out of escrow was because the reserves were showing really, really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up, the condo association got a loan for it. And so then it looked better when they redid the financials, when they had a new study come out.
Mhm.
But until that new study came out, I wouldn't have been able to sell that condo if someone really paid attention to those docs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of important to dig deep when you're going into it.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Hey, guys, if you have anything that you want to share with the group of concern or some topic that we want to discuss with this, please go ahead and put it in the chat box so that we can bring you on and then get some opinions. I just want to kind of throw something out there right now. I got somebody reached out to me from the San Diego Tribune, from the Business Journal, and I said something in the past, kind of like where prices are going. They liked it, I guess. But anyway, they asked for a couple more questions. So I want to get your feedback, and actually I'll use your name to kind of associate with some of the information. So if you guys want to go ahead and message me the answer to this, one of the questions was asked, what cities do you think are a good buy for buyers, obviously something that you like and why, right? So they want to highlight some certain cities in the San Diego County region. They even told me Southern California. I said, I don't cover all that. So just, I mean, if you have something in Orange County that you want to share, fine too, I'll absolutely add it. But if you have something that makes a lot of sense for buyers for whatever reason, all right, great schools, great neighborhoods, we want to highlight RB, we want to highlight Scripps Ranch, we want to highlight any areas that you think for whatever reason, if it's good, I'll go ahead and pass that information and put your little quote by it. And, you know, we'll see if anything good comes out of it. But anyway, go ahead and put something in the chat box, send it over private message to me about the city and why you think it's a good buy for whatever reason. Okay. Chris even mentions before, I know we beat this up to death, but Chris mentions that he owns a property in Mission Beach, a condo that he paid a $10,000 balcony assessment, 10,000. All right. So this is a real thing. And now you guys answered the reason why a lot of these condos are going up for sale and why, because they're going through all of this. So again, market these areas, go ahead and be proactive. You know, if you got a sale in that area, go ahead and talk about some of the things or your experiences, you know, in your marketing material. Therefore, you look like the professional. And this is the year of the professional. All right. Either you're in or you're out. If you guys haven't noticed that, it's really taking shape right now. The professionals are going to rise to the occasion and they're going to get better. Not only are you going to get better, but you're going to get more business from it. The people that are kind of doing this as a hobby and, you know, just relying on their past clients to call them and them not being proactive, I think they're starting to feel the pain and they're starting to go away, or they're just saying, you know what, if I get a sale or two, it works. But you really got to be involved, not only in the trainings and all the RPA contract changes and all the things that we bring to this company. You got to be proactive. You got to be out there meeting people. You got to be out there really just beating at your craft, right? Just become the master at your craft, and it will pay dividends, I promise. All right. Anybody else have anything else to share before we kind of continue? If you do, go ahead and, like I said, put it in the chat box here, or go ahead and raise a hand. There's so many different ways to actually get it going on. And, you know, again, we'll bring you on when it calls for that. All right. Share my screen again. Quick second. Can everybody see that? Okay. Got through this. All right. Just want to give you a mid-year review of our brokerage. I'm going to do more of these more often because I believe in transparency, good or bad and ugly. So if you don't measure kind of what you're doing along with what's the market doing, you'll never know if you're doing good or bad. So it showed me in that mid-year review, but June, that the numbers were down for closed sales. Well, good news for everybody on this call. Our sales and our numbers have increased. So we're beating the market, not by much, but we're beating the market. I'm very, very, very pleasantly surprised by these numbers. But overall, guys, we are at 324 closings for the year and over $320 million in volume. As you can see these numbers, I broke it down per office. Closing, you know, obviously leading the pack here is Rancho Bernardo, 129 million, a little over 129 million. It's Carlsbad, number 2 there, 83 million. And Scripps Ranch, 80. And look at Fallbrook's doing really well for such a small satellite office. I'm very proud to see that they have 34 closings with over 26 million in sales volume. All right. I put here, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. What are you doing to track your numbers? What are you doing to measure up against the market? What are you doing to track how hard you work or how many hours you put in or what your schedule looks like and what it looked like last week, the year before, the month before? Again, you got to start tracking your numbers. You got to start tracking your activity. You really got to treat this like a business. And, you know, I like I said, we're bound by the standards we set for ourselves in every category in our life. If it's, you know, weight, right? I mean, it's always, everybody wants to shed some pounds, but if you're not just jumping on a scale, how do you know if you're gaining or losing weight? That's the same kind of philosophy with your business. You need to start measuring things so therefore you can manage it or even make some adjustments and just really start to even, you know what a good idea is is actually grab your iPhone and record yourself in some of these conversations that you're having with your clients or new leads or whatever the case may be. Hear yourself. So therefore you can kind of say, oh, wow, I was a little strong there, right? Got to tone it down a bit. Or maybe I need to mirror and match some of the conversations that are taking place because my rate of speech is pretty fast and they're a little bit more slow paced. So all these things, you need to be cognizant of it. So therefore you can make some adjustments. Stop sharing. Any comments, Lindsay, things that we want to bring up at this point before we get into our calendar?
No, Jill just mentioned the assessment on the balcony for the condo she sold was $30,000.
Okay.
And Ron commented that he helped his son buy a house in Temecula that would have been twice as much in RB or Poway.
Okay. Well, thanks for those comments, guys. Appreciate those. Lindsay, you want to take it away with our calendar?
Yes. If you want to refresh your screen, Mike, it'll have the newer calendar on there.
All right.
Yeah.
You caught it. You caught it. I love it. There we go.
There we go.
There
So
we go.
we have made some minor changes to the schedule since I last sent it. But so I'll go over that. On Tuesday, the 16th, we have Market Your Listing with Tim Ross. We've had Tim Ross on before from LLC. He's a really great presenter and knows a lot about Mac Center. So he'll be on. And then the changes we made to the schedule are on Wednesday, the 17th. Walt is going to teach a revised BRBC class. Yes, it has been revised again. And also a class on the revised RLA. That's on the 24th. So Walt wanted to hop on real quick and give a brief summary of those upcoming classes.
Thanks, Lindsay. Yeah, real briefly, I just wanted to alert everybody, due to an inquiry by the DOJ and some of their objections, as well as objections raised by the Consumer Federation of America, some of the elements of the original revision of the BRBC and the RLA that we've already reviewed in a previous class last month, some of those elements have been significantly modified. So they revised these forms yet again. The final versions will be released July 24th. And so I wanted to do a class. We wanted to do a class, talk to Mike this morning, wanted to be sure. Our mission is to help you stay ahead of the curve, help you be ready when these NAR changes go into effect in August. We want to be sure you're fully equipped. So we're going to do a class on the BRBC, go over some of the new changes and a quick review of some of the things we've covered. And we'll do that on the 17th, and then on the 24th, the same thing with the RLA. There is some significant developments that we'll review in these classes on how you do business, especially when it comes to compensation. And so we'll review the forms. I'll answer all your questions. Encourage you to join in on those two classes.
Thank you, Walt. I know we got some birthdays, Lindsay. Do you want to go ahead and read out some of those birthdays?
Yes, of course. So July 2nd was Laurel Shields' birthday. We had Colin Tessera, Kay Merg, Steve Schulman, Joey Clement, Steve Roque, Matt Eller, Kay Sorensen, and Lisa Herndon. Happy birthday, everybody.
Happy birthday.
Birthday.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah. Hey, Mike,
Yes, sir.
I piggyback on Walt. Three of us or so were in the NAR ABR classes the last 2 days. The president of SDAR was in there. He said they're shutting down all fields for commissions or broker. All of that will be shut down this coming Wednesday, like possibly today. Jill, did you catch that? Was that next Wednesday or was it was it today?
I
How about
don't,
you?
I'm not sure, but
What about you, Barbara?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I don't remember either. I'm sorry.
I know it's Wednesday, but I don't know if it was today or next Wednesday. I think it's next Wednesday.
What's this, Bob?
They're shutting down all of the fields for your listings,
Oh, okay.
compensation, or the concessions is the word to use now. So anyway, just be aware.
So
Okay.
it's just, the point of the matter is, we should be getting buyer broker agreements signed
Absolutely.
already with all your
Absolutely.
buyers
Absolutely. Hey, really quick, I'm gonna call upon.
yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call upon Spencer, if you can kind of unmute yourself for a quick second. I think he does a great job with tracking and, you know, consistency and all the rest of the good stuff that, you know, I want to hear from Spencer for a quick second. We'll put him on the spot. Spencer, you with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
There you are. There's that pretty smile. Let's see it. Okay. Tell me about tracking. And I know that you never used to track, right? And then you started tracking. Did you see a difference, and good or bad or ugly? I mean, are you able to make adjustments? Tell me a little bit about your experience over the years about tracking.
Well, number one, I think there's some other incredible agents that maybe some of these other agents want to hear from that are doing a little bit more than me, but kind of like I had a tough year last year. The first 6 months were tough, and I was able to have a breakthrough at the end. And this year's been steady. But yeah, so I have been tracking, but honestly, I was just too lazy. Like I didn't, always be like, oh, whatever, I'll do it at the end, but this year I've like, okay, I'm going to make my goals and I'm not going to renegotiate on them. So the coolest thing about tracking for me is that, I know how many listing appointments, I know where my business is coming from. The best thing is I know how much I make per contact. So it's pretty cool to see, like, I'm making $40 a contact. So whether they say yes, no, maybe so, I got paid $40 off it technically, right? Because I'm doing all that. So that's just been awesome, because then it really helps me, stay encouraged and, know that this is going to be fruitful, rather than not being able to go back to the stats and what's actually happening.
I love it. Have you been able to make adjustments over the time? Have you been able to see kind of like, oh, well, this is the reason why, I didn't, tell me about that. Tell me about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think meeting with, I meet with Mike maybe like once a quarter to go over everything, and he's been super helpful. And then Shadi Bazzi is another real estate coach that I go through. But yeah, I'm able to see, okay, maybe my contacts are too high, so maybe I'm calling the wrong people, right? Maybe I need to get closer to where they're closer to making a sale, or, hey, my listing appointments, I'm going on way too many appointments and not getting them. So let's hone in on that. Let's work on my presentation. Let's work on anything on that. So it's great. Yeah, it's great to actually know where it's coming from, for sure.
You said something that I want to bring up the attention to everybody in the group. I will tell you, this is the reason why most don't get the results they're looking for. Two things. It's either a will or a skill. It's that simple. See, I'm a simple person. I don't like to complicate things. I always say, how can I break this down to its simple form? Let me explain what the will means. You don't feel like it. Something came up. You're not really motivated to do what you need to do. You need to step outside your comfort zone. You know what you need to do. You don't need me to tell you what you know you need to do. Everybody on this call knows what they need to do to increase business. They need to prospect in any which way, whether it's your sphere or whether it's people you meet on the golf course or on the tennis court, or it doesn't matter what it is. It really means more conversations that lead to leads, and leads turn into appointments. It's that simple, okay? Now it's a skill also. It could be a skill set that you need to learn. Are you taking classes on neuro-linguistic programming, NLP? Are you taking classes on matching a mirror? What to say, how to say it, when to say it, tonality. There's so many things that you could do to improve, but if it's not measured, you can't make adjustments. So that's kind of the message I wanted to share with the group. If it's a will or it's a skill, you got to figure that out. And you really got to face the music and make those adjustments. All right. Anybody else before we continue with our top 15 or anything that we want to talk? I know Jeff said you want to mention something about car forms or whatever case may be, but do you want to go ahead and go for that, Jeff? You sent it to me I didn't upload it. It wasn't able to, but I know that you have some upcoming classes that we'll share with Agent Hub, and actually we'll put it in the group, or maybe even we'll share it with throughout the groups for the email. Okay.
No, that's okay. I was just going to mention that CAR with their announcement, obviously the forms are being released to actually look at, and they call them the red letter forms today, and which is July 10th, and July 11th through the rest of a full 7-day week. and I'll put it in chat. If you go on to on.car.org/townhall, they're going to be doing an hour-and-a-half presentation on all the new forms. It's the same presentation, given 5 different days. So it'll kind of give you an outline to at least look at the forms that are changing. And then when Walt teaches, he'll go far more in depth, obviously, on the ones that we're looking at, or the ones that are being changed. So you might get a chance to actually preview it before they come out logistically. So that way you have some kind of an idea what they look like. So I will go ahead and put the URL in the chat. And if you want to go on there and look, that's great. You'll also, if you keep an eye out, CAR is sending you consistent emails on it, and so is SDAR. So anyway, keep that in mind because there are some significant changes, and taking a look at that. And then I'm actually meeting down here at SDAR today. So I'll have your answer from Saul and I'll send that out as well.
Jeff, boots on the ground. I love it. I appreciate that, man. Thanks for all that you do for this company. Noah, you had something to say. Go for it.
Yeah, just to really kind of piggyback everything that Spencer's been doing, you know, obviously I'm super fortunate and lucky that he works right across the hall from me. So I kind of hear a lot of the stuff that's going on. And, you know, we've been working together for like 4 or 5 years now. And, you know, we'll always kind of talk throughout the day and meet up. And I've really seen a huge change in Spencer to where he has his schedule just so dialed where it could be 10:30 and I'll knock on his door to show him something funny I found on Instagram. And he's like, hey, Noah, please don't talk to me. My door has to be locked. I'll talk to you at 12 o'clock. And, you know, it's like, man, like I was just so used to, you know, Spencer and I going back and forth, or if something came up, you know, we'll talk about it immediately. And he's just been like, hey, Noah, like, I love you. You're my friend, but I need to follow my schedule. I need to follow my schedule. And every other day, you know, we're talking about how our morning was. And I'm like, man, Spencer, you're going on an appointment tomorrow, an appointment the day after that. And it has been really cool and inspiring just to see like, hey, like someone who I know really well has like really been putting the work, and he's showing me his spreadsheets on how many calls to an appointment. And it's just been really cool to see. So I just want to give huge kudos to Spencer.
That's what a baby would do to you. You know,
Yeah.
it gets you out of bed. He's got a beautiful little
Good job,
daughter
you guys.
and it drives him. That's awesome. Who said that? Tracy. Okay. I love it. Tracy.
Good job, you guys.
That's awesome. Look, you guys want to hear people talk, just come out to the Carlsbad office. You'll see them prospecting. You know, Jill sees it all
I
the
gotta
time.
get back up there.
Cool. All right. Let's talk about the top 15, unless anybody has something else to share.
I have something to share real quick.
Go for it, Tracy.
So as a lot of you know, I'm on RPAC. We are going to be doing dialing for donations tomorrow. And just so you know, our donations used to be included with our dues, and they removed that. So for us to get funding from CAR, the state of California, to San Diego, we need to have, I forget the percentage, but like 80% of all agents donating $20 minimum.
Okay.
So if you haven't donated to the Realtor Action Fund, I want to encourage you to please do that, because we are fighting for many things to help us protect property rights, including the fire insurance. On my own, I'm actually talking to Brian Jones and working on an idea I have with him to help us all kind of get back out in our community, connect with people, and help us get a solution to the fire insurance. So
Hey, let's stand
I'll keep
behind.
you posted on
beside
that. But
Tracy.
if you guys can spare $20 to donate towards the Political Action Fund, I encourage you to do that.
Tracy, can you put the information maybe in the chat box, or, you know, somehow or some way we can get to that just to make it a little bit easier to do so?
Send a group email out.
Yeah, maybe a group email would be even better. Yeah,
That
that'd be
gets everybody.
I'm going to update a little bit of what Tracy was saying, and to just give you an idea about why we do need the money. Just to give you a clue, actually, all it is we only need 65% as far as the association is concerned. And at this point, only 18% of the realtors have actually contributed. So just to give you a little bit of a clue, if this is your primary way of making a living, the way we make a living is to be in the best light as far as politically is concerned, but also keeping property rights at the head of what our goal is. So that being said, only $20, that's the minimum that you should be putting out there. But if you can go a little bit more, that certainly would not hurt the cause. And that being said, you know, we forget sometimes that as a political group, realtors, the National Association of Realtors, and we are the largest faction of people that can sway decisions. So keep in mind, you're working for not only yourself, but your community as well. So $20 is never too much to ask. $40 is even better. And if you want to go more than that, that just puts your money where your mouth is. So yeah, and I'll be down here too, Tracy.
I'll lead by example, and we'll get that donation going today. All right, thank you guys, appreciate that. Anybody else? Did we miss anything? Did we not cover anything? I think.
Hey, Mike, just real quick, it's really easy if you sign into your MLS, like SDAR.
Yeah.
And you look right there on the right-hand side, you'll see my account, and then you'll see the Realtor Action Fund. And you just click on the button and you can donate $20. I know I've donated more because I'm pretty passionate about protecting property rights. I'm really shocked that more people didn't go down to the city council and rally against tenant protection. But a big part of that is because we didn't know. Luckily, I was at an event with Kay and Fiona, and I went down with those warriors who actually spoke against it. So, I mean, together we can do great things, but we all got to rally together.
Can't agree with you more, Tracy. I can't agree with you more. Really quick, I just want to mention something. You know, we got Mary Jo. She's, you know, obviously is with us. She's also in Houston, Texas. They've been hit with a hurricane. I'm sure you guys have been following this Hurricane Beryl. And if you guys know anybody in Texas or even agents, guys, that you kind of work with or, you know, refer business back and forth, check on them. You know, just make sure they're good. A lot of them, their electricities are down and all kinds of things are taking place. So just wanted to mention that really quick. Anybody else got anything else before we wrap up with top 15? All right, let's do it. All right, we're going to go to our top 15. Unmute yourselves, please. Before I do so, I definitely want to show the Leaders Club one last thing. Congratulations for those have made the Leaders Club, and that will be on our yacht. And we're going to be doing something again, just so everybody understands. This is not a one-time thing. We're going to do a Leaders Club event next year as well. I'm looking for ideas as well. So if you have an idea that could be pretty cool for our Leaders Club that we're going to do a top 54, go ahead. Again, I'm not going to shoot it down. No idea is a bad idea. So I don't care if it's, you know, outrageous or, you know, just something that's very simple. I'm willing to listen. So this is for you. And this is something that we should be celebrating our wins. And if you didn't make the list, don't be down on yourself. It was a tough year. And, you know, there's this year, right? And there's next year. So continue to strive, continue to be the best version of yourself, and great things will happen. All right, June 2024, top 15. I want to mention our honorable mentions. We have Pete Hagan, Cindy Pearson, and Jill Vodka. Congratulations. You are our our honorable mentions of June 2024.
Good job, guys.
15.
Great job.
Let's go. Mickey Roberts, number 15. Congratulations.
Yeah, Mickey.
All right,
All
Mickey.
go, Mickey. Number 14, Noah May.
All right,
Oh,
Noah.
Noah.
Number 13, Vicky Varnell's dollar.
All right,
Congratulations.
Mickey.
Way to go, Vicky.
Number 12, Alex.
Go, Ali.
All right, Alex.
11, we have
Alex.
Maria Martin.
All right,
Yeah,
Maria.
Top 10 for the month of June, Lisa Herndon.
Lisa.
Congratulations.
Lisa.
Number 9, we have Judy Spady.
Judy.
All right, Judy.
Judy.
Number 8, we have David Kroll. Let's go.
David
Kroll.
Kroll. Way to go,
7,
Davey.
Russ.
Russell,
Taylor.
take
All right,
that.
Russ. Good job.
Number 6, we have Steve.
Way to go,
Bella.
Mr. Steve.
All right,
Congratulations.
Steve.
Our top 5 for the month of June. We have number 5.
Boom,
Carly.
Carly.
All right, Carly.
Anderson. Way to go,
Congrats.
Carly.
Awesome. Number 4, we have Kim.
Wait, Kim.
Kim.
Yeah.
Kimmy.
Top 3, here we go. Number 3, Rick
All
McCandless.
right.
Rick.
Go,
Nice
Rick.
Yes.
Rick.
Way to go, Rick,
Hit
on
the ground
fire.
running, my friend. Number 2,
Mr. Mukesh.
Mukesh.
Yes.
We get a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
drum roll to see who pushed over Mukesh to number 2. Let's see who's number 1.
Who is it?
Number one, number one,
Virginia
number one.
Gising.
Virginia,
Gising.
good job.
Holy moly,
Congratulations,
guacatole.
Virginia,
Go,
number
Barbara.
1. Love it. Love it. All
Oh,
right,
wow.
this is what it's gonna look like for social media, guys.
Nice.
See that. Please
Very
share
nice.
that. Get that out to the world. Let's go. Top 15.
Very
just real quick.
cool.
We're gonna run it down. Spencer Soto. We have Shauna Zizi.
Yeah.
Taylor. Congrats.
Atta way.
guys.
Nice.
Number
Awesome,
15.
you
Jessica
guys.
All
Verdi.
right, Jessica.
Number
Atta way,
14,
Jessica.
we have Alex Abu.
All right, Alex.
13,
Yeah.
Mickey Robert.
Mickey.
All right,
Atta way,
Mickey.
Wow, Barbara
Way to go,
Duda.
Barbara.
Number 11, Judy Spady.
Judy.
All right, Judy.
10, Michelle Warner.
Awesome. Michelle.
Atta way,
Number
Michelle.
9, David Kroll.
David.
David.
Number 8,
David.
Fiona Sarah.
Atta way,
All right, Fiona.
7, Rick McCandless.
Ricky. There you go, buddy.
Alright.
Kim Tortolak.
Kimmy.
All right,
Um,
Kim.
5,
Carly.
Anderson.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Atta way, Carly.
4, Jill
Jill.
Boniface.
All right, Jill.
Number 3, we
Alright.
have Steve Beller.
All right,
Steve.
Steve.
Number 2, we have Maria Martinez.
Maria,
All right,
Yeah.
Maria.
And
Way to
number 1, we have
go.
Mukesh.
And
Mukesh.
Mukesh.
So let's go.
Awesome.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
everyone.
Way to go, you guys.
Didn't make the list. There's always next month. Let's go. Let's go. There's always next month. All right, guys. Lindsay will head over and do our bingo.